Welcome to the Fitness and Finance Podcast with Jeff Smith from The Retirement Smith and Jennifer Scherer from Fredericksburg Fitness Studio. True wealth isn't just about finances. It's about maintaining a healthy body and a secure financial future. The Fitness and Finance Podcast is here to help you build strength in both areas, tackling financial strategies for retirement while also discussing ways to stay active, healthy, and energized. Now let's get started with Fitness and Finance. Hey, here we are. Good to see you guys again. Psych. Did you?
I got a little worried.
We'll fix it in the mix.
I was like, oh no, my cord came undone.
Panicking over here.
Fitness and Finance Radio. And, you know, we got to look for some airtime in the Fredericksburg area on some radio stations. And have the show aired on radio as well, I think.
That would be nice. Maybe WPR would do it.
We've had a few requests for that, and I think there's probably some local stations that would love to have it. So.
Yeah, there's the AM station too.
The news talk station, the talk station.
WFVA. Love it.
Yeah.
News talk.
Exactly. Hey, but let's talk about you guys for a minute. Yeah, I know you have a farm now. You've been spending a lot of your weekends, basically. Your short amount of off time. You go out to the farm. How's that been?
It's been fun.
Man, we got up to our ankles and elbows to this weekend in dirt. And
Jeff pulled out a squash from the garden yesterday, and it was the size of a large pumpkin.
Massive pumpkin.
I was like,
and it was a squash?
It was a squash of some sort.
It was even turning orange.
Yeah.
Like a pumpkin.
I think we might have waited a little bit too long.
Yeah, we definitely did.
We
didn't see that guy. There was like leaves covering it. And then when we discovered it, we're like, wow.
I mean, it was like a heavy weight. Like, wasn't it really heavy?
It was like 35 pounds. Definitely.
Oh my goodness. That's massive for a squash.
Yes.
So
but we got tons of spaghetti squash. We got,
I
had to give some away today.
Yeah, we had quite the harvest.
We definitely have a harvest.
You know, we've had some record, they purposely grow for the fall record pumpkins up here.
Yeah.
And they do a pumpkin drop. We've had pumpkins close to 2,000 pounds.
That's insane.
That is insane.
As big as a person. They hollowed them out and raced them down the river. I kid you not, with paddles. And they have pumpkin races.
I've never heard of.
I kid you not. I'll show you pictures.
That's
on the St. Croix up in Minnesota by Stillwater. And then they do a pumpkin drop where they take an 800 to 1,000 pound pumpkin. They have a huge crane down there. They have it roped way off around, and all the kids and people gather around, and they have it set so with a remote they drop it.
Wow.
And they drop the pumpkin. I mean, from way up high, stories. I forget how many stories. And it smashes on the ground in this big open area of the park.
Wow.
And they take one of the winners, usually the second place winner gets dropped, and then after it's dropped, then they release they push down the fences, all the kids run in to find seeds because those seeds of that pumpkin are worth something because you can plant them and
get another massive pumpkin.
Yeah. So at any rate, that's fun. But to watch it drop and film it like on your iPhone in slow-mo, I have a video every year they do it. It's so cool.
Wow.
Seeing it smash.
That's cool.
It's fun for the kids.
We don't have anything that exciting around here.
You don't have big fall celebrations that
pumpkin patches and
I think we will. I think really close to our place is like a farm for kids. They have like this
hay rides and corn mazes and all that stuff.
Yeah.
That's so much fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, hey, we're not talking about why are we talking about fall and pumpkins? How did you guys get us into that?
Because I told you the squash looked like a giant pumpkin.
We did. We got really dirty this weekend. We really got I got to use my 4-wheeler, not my tractor, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But,
well, that was the week before you got to use the tractor.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's a lot of work, but actually it's I feel like it's.
But don't you feel good afterwards? Like if you get really dirty and do physical work, and when you go in and shower and get cleaned up, and that feeling of just relax, and you're just like, wow, that was rewarding.
It was rewarding, and we also got a really nice ride in. The area that we're in is just beautiful for rolling hills. Like it's a cyclist's dream. So we started out at like 7 a.m.
on bicycles.
We rode 20 miles, got back in there's this one area where there's dogs, and we're
dogs that aren't fenced in.
Yeah, so
trying to outrun the dogs.
Yeah, so we're at the top of the hill, and we got to go down through. And I'm like, all right, here's the game plan. All right. So Jen, you go first because I usually ride.
You go first.
No. Listen to the rationale before you judge me. I am significantly, not significantly, but I'm faster than Jennifer.
A lot.
And so what I realize is that I get ahead, and then I'm looking back and wondering if the dog's not gonna get me. You know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna be gone. So I was like, all right, here's what we do. The element of surprise. You're gonna go through, and then I'm gonna be the chase.
Yeah, it's just like
dogs are gonna chase anybody. It's gonna be me.
Yeah, it happened before.
It did.
On the way there, coming down, he was in front, and this dog was like, running after, and then it saw me, and it was already in the middle of the road, and I was like, oh no, I'm just gonna kind of get around it, and I did. I managed to outsmart it.
These dogs seem mean, like they didn't want to pet you or you to pet them. And
they were not happy we were riding on their road.
Right.
That was their road.
So we're gonna have to learn. We're gonna have to bring some dog spray, I think,
or something.
Because that was
throw steaks, raw meat, throw raw meat as you go by. They're not going to bother you.
Have like little bits of steaks in our pocket. Yeah. They'll really chase us.
Raw meat. Here's the deal. I love that philosophy, Jeff, about her going first to get through, and then you're kind of lag behind. It reminds me of the saying: you don't need to run fast. You don't need to be able to run faster than the bear.
Yeah.
Or the moose or the buffalo. You just need to be faster. You don't have to be faster than the bear. You just need to be faster than your friend.
Yes, exactly.
That's true.
Well, I wasn't about to look back and see a dog bite on my wife. So I was like, you know what?
I have a client. Oh, I love her, but she's so near and dear to my heart. She said, Jennifer, just get a cattle prod.
Oh no. Well, first of all, from a bike, no. You would fall down. The dog. It would make the dog more mad. I mean, that's a bad idea.
It'd be like jousting. You'd be like,
you want to have little baggies, and then at the top of the hill, take the meat out of the baggie, put it in, go down the hill, throw it as you go, throw it.
Like chum the water. Is that what you're saying? Like, just chum the water.
Yeah, chum the water.
So then all the dogs come running out.
Yep.
I don't think that'd be very popular with the neighbors.
What do you mean?
We just fed their dog a bunch of beef.
Yeah,
they wouldn't. That's
there's
dogs
a bison
love it.
Farm. We could get those.
Are you kidding me? Their dogs would love it, and red meat's good for dogs.
Yeah. Well, we went to a bison farm, and they had they had dog treats and all sorts of stuff. Maybe we should just pack some of those.
That's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
Make sure you get the really good ones that they'll like. I mean, there's nothing wrong with raw meat for
Maybe
a dog.
We'll ask them.
By the way, I mean, no dog owner is going to be upset. You gave my dog meat.
Right.
Well,
that's what they eat.
Like the Clampetts live there, so that one was a little rough. I don't know if I'm going to go there and talk to them.
Right.
No, don't talk to them.
Yeah, they may just be like, release the hounds.
Right.
Yeah, release the hounds. All right, beware the Moors. Beware the Moors.
Just pulled in.
Some city slicker just pulled in. Release the hounds. Hey, so how much stress can your health and wealth handle? We got to get into this.
I know.
It's stressing. This conversation's been stressing me out. We're talking about stress today.
Yes.
And I don't know, do we want to start with health or wealth, or where do we begin with this conversation?
Okay, so Jeff and I were talking right before the show, and he asked me.
That's good. Communication between couples is important.
He asked me about VO2 max because he actually had it done.
Yeah.
I don't know. Explain, please, to me and the rest of our listening audience what that
I want Jeff to share his experience with the actual test itself, but basically it's the maximum amount of oxygen that your body can take up. And it's one of the best ways, to test your cardiovascular capacity.
So it's a test. It's some type of health or fitness wellness test.
Yeah.
To see how much oxygen your body can take.
Yeah. So they hook you up to this they put a mask on your face, and it really monitors, CO2, and then, oxygen that comes in, O2, and so how much you can actually process during that time, but it also measures so much more. So The way it happens is the way I did it was on both the treadmill and on a stationary bike. And it was so interesting to me.
They test you while you're exercising.
Right.
Intensely.
Yeah. So
well, your heart rate's up and
like
things.
a stress test, like a regular stress test.
And when you say they put on a mask, who's they giving the test?
Yeah, it was a company that I hired while I was training for a triathlon. And I really wanted to see what my capacity was, so I paid for it. And
so is it like, do you go to the can you go to a clinic and get this done, or do you hire a private company?
Yeah,
private. Either. Most doctors probably don't have that, but maybe some cardiovascular doctors do.
Specialists,
yeah. The idea was, though, I got on that treadmill, and it's so interesting. Like what I found really valuable was the amount of fuel I used under both circumstances, running and cycling. For I've been cycling for a long time, and I didn't stop riding for over a half an hour, so I was able to maintain that level of load for a half an hour, where running I was done in about 11 minutes.
Oh wow, okay.
And but the cycling, I didn't use anything other than fat for fuel for that whole half an hour. I started when
that's a good thing.
Yeah, I think when I broke is when I started using glycogen. And then on the treadmill, within 10 minutes I was into my stores quickly,
because you're conditioning, because you ride bike a lot and you've conditioned yourself well for that. But you maybe hadn't run the same amount all your life, right?
No, not even close. But yeah, but it was interesting to have that feedback, right? So then it allows me the intelligence to say, hey, I need to work on that running capacity, because it's much more of a load than cycling, like from my body, but it's so individualized.
And when you say a load and how much fuel you're using and what you're using, they can tell that by the amounts of oxygen and CO2 that are going in and out.
Yeah. It's amazing. It is really fascinating.
And heart rate.
I don't know how, I haven't looked into the expense of, to have that set up, but I think it would be a really neat way to add another like objective measurement of success to even the clients at Fredericksburg Fitness.
Definitely.
I think so many people are stuck on the scale that, something like that could be very motivating. It's like, okay, wow, in 3 months, look at my VO2 max. Look how much more efficient my body is at using oxygen. And then that directs to your longevity. It directly relates to your longevity.
And you can train for it.
Right.
You can push the capacity on a regular basis and then back off, right? So anyway, sorry, Jen, you know more than I do on that. Sorry.
Well, I was just thinking of the benefits of beyond the scale, as another metric to really measure. And while we were having this conversation before the show, Jeff is like, wonder what we could discuss during this podcast about the financial side of this. Like, how can we determine the threshold or the max amount of stress you can take from a financial standpoint? And so that's kind of what we want to dive into today.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But first, what was the name of that test again?
Oh, VO2 max.
VO2 max. Okay.
So basically, maximum amount of oxygen your body can use,
volume,
and take up. Yeah.
Interesting. I had I'll be honest, hadn't heard of that.
Okay.
Wow.
Must have missed that in our hour-long show prep session.
Yeah.
That we did. Wait.
So. Yeah, right.
Yeah, that's why we all laughed.
Because we talk about personal things for an hour and then do the show.
Yes.
And it's just like, wait, we didn't discuss this, but you guys did the show prep. I'm just here along for the ride, so to speak, the bike ride.
Yeah, I think we do a decent job of upfront talking about some of these things, but we don't actually implement testing, which I think this is a good place to unveil it. That's what we're going to be doing, called a financial capacity test. And it's going to be strict, and it's going to be a situation where we identify a job loss, a health issue, we introduce different stressors to your financial plan, low amount of emergency fund.
So a
Those types of
financial
things.
stress test
Yes.
on your end of things, on the financial side for your financial clients that you're a financial advisor for, you're talking about implementing a financial stress test.
Yeah.
And you've kind of, Jeff, I know that the work you do with your clients, and you kind of do that bits and pieces here and there, but putting a name to it and having a definitive set of metrics, I think that's really good, because financial stress and health stress are both huge problems, right? Stress in general.
Yeah. And some of the questions I think that are important to address with the financial capacity testing would be, for example, like how long would it take for you to recover from losing your job? Right? Or, how long would it take you to recover from like a 30% market decline? And being able, or some major unexpected, expense.
Right.
Measuring in my world, recovery is everything. That measures your heart's, ability to come back into a normal rhythm, and it's longer it takes you to recover, the less conditioned you are. Right. You want that recovery to be quick. You want to have that recovery heart rate fast. And I think there's a direct relation to the financial.
Well, there is. In fact, it's amazing how interconnected this is.
Right.
You mentioned losing a job. I immediately thought, when someone loses a job, if they're downsized or laid off, the stress that causes, not only obviously the immediate thing is, oh, that's a financial, the financial stress of that. But you know what? That's when, Jennifer, I bet you also see if somebody loses their job, what happens to the eating right and exercising?
Exactly.
A lot of people during that time use that as an excuse to, or just don't, they put aside being healthy.
Yeah.
I never understood, like in the movies, when somebody loses a job, they go to the bar. Like, I'm like, why would you spend money on booze when you just lost your job?
Exactly.
That is not going to be, that's not going to end well.
No,
Like,
and some
like,
people like drinking. Yeah, I had something bad happen. To avoid depression, I'm going to drink alcohol in a dark bar. Probably not the answer that you're looking for.
No.
Get out in the sunlight,
Yes.
ride a bike, take a bike ride.
Yes.
Give Jeff and Jennifer a call. These are things that are going to lift you out of that darkness, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Get a plan. Move forward.
Yeah.
Fall forward.
Move ahead. Try to detect it. It's not too late to whip it. Oh, wait. You started saying Devo lyrics and I just got carried away. Sorry.
Wow, I guess so. Well done.
And then the other correlation we made with this topic is in the training realm, we have zones that you're training in certain zones, zone 1 through 5, typically. Zone 5, you're not going to be able to last very long. It's all out effort. You're talking like 90% of your maximum heart rate. So Jeff and I were like, okay, what's the direct relation to finances? And it's like risk tolerance, right? So you don't train at maximum heart rate every day. And the same with Jeff's industry. It's like they're not going to invest at maximum risk all the time.
Right.
You don't start saving by putting 50% of your paycheck away. You're going to burn out. Like, I want to create an emergency fund. I need 6 months to a year of salary. Okay, I'll just start putting my entire check in that same.
Right. Well, that's the problem. I think
can't do that.
In general, I think people want it yesterday, and it just takes time and it takes discipline. In both realms, you have to take a first step, and you have to continue those and be excellent at doing the things that you have to do on a regular basis, and get really good and masterful at those, those habits.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, I think one of the things that, this is probably off the subject, but today it's like there's a huge concern for, affordability gap. Well, the problem is that people, what they want to afford, I mean, I think housing in certain areas certainly are unaffordable for young people, but there are places in this country that it is very, very affordable, and there are jobs there. It's just a matter of what people are willing to do. And I think for us, I think it's the same thing, right? We want, things yesterday, but we have to take steps today to get to that level that we really, really want to be at. And so when you get a baseline like a VO2 max and it's terrible, that's not the end of it. That's the beginning of it. That's where you start to work towards recovery and healing and being healthy. And same with your finances. You got to stress test those things on a regular basis to really know if you're secure. Right? You don't want to fake it.
Well, and I think the whole point of VO2 max in the health industry is that you determine where the weaknesses are, right? And then you train those weaknesses.
Right.
And it's the same.
Yes.
You figure
repetitions.
out. Right.
Well, and I think if you can't insure against it, so, in other words, if it's an area that we can insure, we buy that insurance, right? So if it's like what happens if you have a disability, right? So there's coverage for that, right? What happens if you have, whatever, name it, you have a long-term care, there's coverage for that, right? So those are all things that really can impact your retirement. And if you're working with Jennifer, those risks go down. Sorry, Tony. I know how fond you are of me touching it.
Nope. It's fine. Don't touch it. Don't even look at it. But yeah, I think it is amazing the correlation between, stress in general, how it affects both your health and wealth, and how your wealth can affect your health because of the stress it causes. So,
think about how fast Jennifer went because she was chased by a dog this weekend.
That's true.
Were
you pedaling as fast as you possibly could?
I was.
She was.
Did you
I was trying to calculate which direction the dog was going to go because the dog was in the middle of the road and Jeff was way in front of me. So I was like, okay, I'm not going to slow down because I'm clipped in. Also, keep in mind, this is not just a regular bike. So I'm clipped in and I'm like, okay, I'm going to stay in the middle of the road. I'm going to keep my speed and let's see what happened. And at the last second, the dog kind of went to the right and I just went to the left. And I'm thinking if that dog had went the other way, it could have been.
It would have been messy.
Yeah.
Well, Jeff, I thought you let her go first.
That was the first time.
Yeah. That's why we came up with a plan of her going first.
Back.
Yeah.
We were like,
because I was like, I'm not having that again. I'm not looking back and wondering what's happening to my bride.
No.
I'm like, this is the worst male thing
so
I could
I
ever
had
do.
the element of surprise on the way back.
Yes.
I went flying by before the dog could even know I was there.
And I was yelling, look at me, dogs.
So it worked though. Having her the second time when you had her go first, that worked better because she flew right through.
Yep.
Yeah,
much better for me too.
Yeah. And what's funny? It's not funny, but my chain fell off on the way on the other end of that, so I had no leg left. So if that dog would have gone a little further, probably could have got me. Anyway,
but back to VO2, I want to say something. I want to say something about it because one of the reasons that VO2 max testing is so valuable is that it shows us something that appearance cannot, right? So a person can look fit and still have relatively low cardiovascular capacity. And another person may not look like a traditional athlete, but may have excellent endurance.
Interesting.
Right? So you cannot always determine capacity by looking at
someone.
And
let's pause there for a second because think about what happened. So the reason I went to Jennifer was my capacity for cardiovascular was really high, but I looked fat, like I was skinny fat, I called it. Like I had no muscle tone, not really, so but you can talk to that, right? So some people why is it that people become sort of skinny fat?
Because they're not exercising, right? If you're not training your muscular system and your heart, your cardiovascular system, you can have a great diet and be relatively healthy as it relates to your body weight, but the actual internals are not functioning at their prime. Right. And that's because, and for Jeff, Jeff was exercising regularly. However, he wasn't, the issue was he was overtraining cardio and under doing the muscular strength component. Right. So his cardiovascular system was stellar when I met him. But his strength, when I asked him to do a stability ball handoff, his core strength, not good.
Couldn't do it.
Right. And I was like, okay, here's your weak. We started to expose some of those weaknesses. But when the person says, when somebody says you are skinny fat, you're basically saying the person on the outside looks skinny, but on the inside is not as healthy as what they could be.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
But I think the same is true financially on your side of things. It's like someone may appear wealthy.
Definitely.
They may have a beautiful home and maybe
nice
drive
car,
really nice car. Maybe they take really great vacations, right? But
they can be deep in debt.
Necessarily, no. They
right?
don't tell us whether that person has
Yeah.
true
Income does not equal wealth, right?
Right.
If you have high income and you're not saving anything,
right.
you're just living paycheck to paycheck like everybody else.
Some people are house poor. In other words, they're house poor. In other words, they make a lot of money, but their house is way, way more than they can really afford. All their money is going into payments for a house or a car, and they have no money to live on, or don't have much left in the bank, or not in savings because they're house poor, right?
Yeah.
Well, we went and visited Jennifer's grandmother in Great Falls.
Yes.
Great Falls is a really fancy place.
Very.
She's been there since the 40s, 50s.
Yeah. Well,
So
she's born and raised. Yeah.
So, but as we're driving through that town, there's like there's mansions, everywhere. Like everywhere.
Yeah.
And then we saw Bentleys, and it's like a who's who with Teslas and
a lot of old money, probably,
and new,
or a lot more new than
old. Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, the older folks there were just, it was just a regular town back then.
Yeah. Sure. All the old homes all the property are being, they're tearing down the houses and building beautiful new homes. Sure. Yeah.
But we were literally having this conversation yesterday on Saturday. On Saturday, we were like, how many of these people have the appearance of wealth, but really they're just, just trying to make ends meet.
Well, I think the point we were trying to make is some of the wealthiest people aren't flaunting, right?
Yeah.
Large, excessive homes, right? And
well, yeah. Warren Buffett was at one point the richest person in the world, or one of them, and he's worth hundreds of billions of dollars. And he still drove an old beat up pickup truck for years.
In a Cadillac, like a late model Cadillac.
Yeah. Exactly.
So the question that I really think that we should answer before we close is like, what can the financial stress test involve? How can we stress? Like, I feel like we need to test, an easy way to make a financial plan look successful when every assumption is favorable, right? Is not the same as when it's not favorable.
Yeah, well, we do a lot of upfront stuff, but to have a real stress test, we would have to throw stuff in the mix and then use appropriate probability. So Monte Carlo is a simulator that identifies whether a portfolio will last through ups and downs of the market. That's one area that we would use to stress test. We'd also look at major expenditures and are we able to pay for them, and how long would it take to recover that at a modest rate of return and savings, right? So, I mean, there's a handful of metrics that I would like to see from this that we will probably unveil in the next couple of weeks.
And you have, and Jeff, you also, part of a stress test would be a risk analysis.
Of course.
In other words, part of financial stress comes from, are you at too much risk? Is that, and that's part of the financial stress.
I'm more interested in, do you have an emergency fund, or are you relying on credit cards for that? Because a lot of people put all of their money in a 401k.
Yep.
And then they have no after-tax dollars to protect themselves if they lose a tire.
Yeah.
Or an HVAC system goes out. Right. So that always kind of like the number one thing for me after risk tolerance is like, where are you going if you have a major issue?
Sure.
Right. Or do you have insurance for these things? Do you have, backups, or do you have, a way of funding that?
You don't want to have to go into debt.
Right.
To cover those things.
Exactly.
So you want an emergency fund. So really first it's emergency fund, risk, and then you move on to, let's stress test, how much do you have? Will it last?
Right.
And put some metrics in place.
And what are you saving? I mean, there's people that have the ability to save, but they're unwilling to take any risk. And so they're only earning 1% to 2%. There are real risks out there that people aren't even paying attention to, that they think that they're protecting against risk, but they're hurting themselves.
Yeah. In a month, let's have a show that just looks at mainly the financial stress test that you're putting together, and we can go over it on the show. in a month or so and go through each point. I think that would be a good idea for our listeners.
There are a lot of components out there that
sure
do similar stuff, but they're not like sort of put together. And I think that's what I'm going to focus on a lot.
Like I think that's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
it's like health. I mean, with VO2 max, that's one of the many things that test your capacity, but we can't forget about balance or strength, right?
Yeah.
Or other factors.
And even blood work will show some of it, right?
Exactly.
Yep. Yeah, that you do. I mean, you do a lot of testing already, Jennifer. On the
and
health
even
side.
lifestyle, even like the way you're living your.
Yeah, you've got to stress test your health and your wealth. And I know you guys work really hard for your clients to do this and are constantly coming up with new ways and improved ways. That's what I like about you. You don't rest on your laurels like, here's our system. We're just going to do this. You're constantly saying, hey, we see a need for this. Let's do it. Hey, this is going to fit.
That's very true.
This is how we can, you see ways you can better help your clients all the time. And
I'm telling you, Tony, like seriously, when there's nothing, when we're done with the day and we're just trying to check out, I can assure you, Jennifer and I are talking about ways to improve our client experiences.
I know you guys are.
She is. I mean, she's got spreadsheets for days.
Yeah.
She's
like constantly looking stuff up, writing stuff down. I mean,
gosh.
It's just like,
it is.
I mean, I don't even know how she has time to open up a can of beans because she's constantly,
this week is
she has to put the pen and paper and the computer down.
Maybe we should,
to use the can opener.
We should apply some of our metrics to each other here with balance. Maybe we need a balance metric where we're not so heavy into one area.
That would
wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
That's
okay,
awesome.
Let's save it for off air, guys.
Okay.
Jennifer, don't throw your coffee cup.
I'll try not to.
No, that's good. Yeah, well, it is always that way, though, isn't it? I mean, I've worked with financial advisors almost exclusively for the last 13 years, doing radio shows, podcasts, interviews, books, audiobooks, and almost to a fault, every one of them. And this is so many professions where they get so focused and they're so passionate about what they do. It's like, I'll never forget the guy who was 70, I think he was 75, 76, financial advisor. And he goes, today I want to talk about helping people retire early. and I'm like, and he's still working like 60 hours a week.
I love it.
And I'm like, the cobbler's kids have no shoes, right? The shoemaker's kids have no shoes.
Yes.
So what is funny is, but you guys, I know you're the worst thing we can say about you is you're kind of workaholics. You guys are always talking about work, which is fine, which is great, but you are solving those problems. You have the farm, right? And that takes you out of both worlds. You're on the farm.
Well,
that's good.
By design, we needed a break from the day to day, and it actually makes us come back harder.
Mm-hmm.
I think when we get back on Sundays, we're getting our head set on the week ahead, and it's really kind of makes us sharper, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I tell you what, being able to have that time away from the day to day.
Because we live and work in the same location.
Yeah.
So
no, you have to have that. And I've noticed a distinct improvement. Jeff's even got a little more patience with me. Jeff's even more patient with me than normal.
You and I are fine. It's technology that I really have no patience for.
I'm kidding. You're fine. All right. Well, hey, how can our listeners out there, if they want to reduce their wealth stress and health stress and make sure they're doing good in those areas, how can they get a hold of you to set up consultations and make that happen?
Yeah, so check out our website, and that's fitnessfinancepro.com, and then from there you can select the free consultation and you can get on both Jeff and I's schedule.
Yeah. And guess what? I think we're going to unveil a new test. It's going to be the dog test. So we're just going to send people out with a pack of dogs behind them and see how fast that they can ride.
Well, take them out to the farm. That could be one of your health tests.
Meat.
No, take them out to the top of that hill. And then you're like, okay, there's going to be some dogs down there that are going to try to kill you. They will try to attack and eat you. So you've got
a ration of meat.
You've got to pedal hard and throw that meat. I mean, that's
So if they're like they're not fit, but they have a lot of wealth, you can be
and
like,
we're gonna videotape
and see if that works.
And we're gonna videotape you from the top of the hill, or the safety at the top of the hill.
Yeah.
We're gonna videotape you, and then we'll use the footage for either as an example to show other clients success and failure. Here's what happens when you fail. Here's what happens if you succeed. You'll have video of both. Obviously, not everybody's gonna make it.
No, I mean there's gonna be some mistakes.
Oh
made.
No!
But
Jeff,
I really think the dog
idea.
test is gonna get. It's got legs.
Dog test.
The dog test has legs.
Yeah, that's not gonna happen. All right, I was gonna come out to the farm and see you guys, and now I'm like, they got a lot of stuff going on out there. I don't want any part of.
No, you got to come out and check out the tractor.
Yes.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, I'll show you how to work it. I grew up on a farm. So.
I love it.
I grew up on a farm. I mean, seriously, we raised corn, soybeans.
I know.
I mean,
that's great.
I grew up doing it. So, Jeff, if you
know how to use a tractor,
I mean, I'm at this point in my life, I feel like I've been there, done that, but I can stand there and tell you what to do. That's what I'll be really good at.
I have the quick connect, and I have a bunch of implements.
We did discuss a little bit. I think the discussion ended after we realized how high the fences would need to be for elk.
Oh yeah, we were gonna have an elk
having
farm.
some elk on our property.
We need an 8-foot fence.
8 foot and like double gates, because I guess they get pretty aggressive.
Why would you raise elk?
We were talking.
Isn't that a wild animal? Do people raise elk?
Yes, they do, and they farm it.
Boutique farms, I think, that sell to like chefs or farm to table restaurants. That's
for the meat.
Oh yeah.
Huh.
It's delicious.
Huh. Yeah.
My favorite, actually.
But I don't think we're not gonna do that.
I don't think
you know what
math doesn't math.
No,
it doesn't, and you guys have enough going on.
Yeah,
let's
we're gonna focus on our garden.
When you have these ideas, please contact me immediately, and then I'm the outside party that can tone the emotions down and the ideas. Jeff's the idea man. You guys have the ideas, Jeff and Jen, lots of ideas. And I can say, no, absolutely not.
You have lots of ideas.
It takes me 2 seconds to tell you don't want to do the elk thing.
No, the elk thing is out.
Yeah, it's just too much more work.
Yeah.
I mean, you
guys
renting
the pasture to the local farmer to have his cows on our land is great.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, why would you want to do something different at this point? That's crazy. Right. Yeah. When you guys said you went for a ride at the farm, I thought, horses, but no.
No.
Bikes.
No bikes. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
More our speed.
Yep. But yeah. Well, I'll tell you about what muscles you'll exercise if you ride a horse. We'll talk about that on another show.
Sounds good.
I grew up, my mom raised horses.
Yeah.
My mom raised horses, and I used to show horses at the fair every year.
Nice.
Very cool.
Yeah. And then when I became when I got older and became a teenager, I'm like, can we sell my horse and buy a mini bike, a motorbike, dirt bike? So we got a dirt bike.
That's awesome.
All right. Hey, Jeff and Jennifer, great show today. Listeners, thanks for putting up with us today and hanging out through all our crazy discussions and the dog talk. Ignore Jeff's dog training ideas, the dog test. And that does it for today's episode of Fitness and Finance with our hosts, Jennifer Scherer and Jeffrey Smith.